It's no secret that in today's society, everyone is a puss boy. Whether it's gardening, flinging a hot duke at the clock, or sliding into my own DMs, I'm always fully torqued with a horse boner, unlike this guy. You see, I don't bodybuild, and neither should you, because that shit ain't natural. So I was browsing the cesspool known as YouTube Fitness, and after sifting through shit after shit, my third eye of truth began to bug out. Now I made a graph to highlight the severity of the situation, and I'd like to show you guys what exactly went on. Okay guys, so what you're looking at right here is the third eye of truth bullshit meter. Now it works like your standard graph. You got your X and Y axis, you start at 0. So this is what happens, right? Follow me along. Once I start seeing cardio with no hands,
I started doing my cardio with no hands.
I get a slight tingle in my third eye of truth. And as you follow this up right here, once I start seeing natural IFBB or a Gymshark sponsorship, I get uncomfortable. It kind of tapers off, and then right when I see Lifetime Natural or someone getting extremely butthurt about their natural status, this causes me pain. So, the biggest red flag of all, in this case, once you follow this up, when I see a documentary or video defending your fake natural status, I start bleeding from the orifices. So without further ado, let's jump into the video Confessions of a Natural Bodybuilder.
The other day, someone turned up at my door wanting to do an out-of-season drug test. I've got the results back with me now, and I guess I've got some explaining I need to do.
Alright, one of two things just happened. Either this man just defecated his pantaloons, or he saw a fucking ghost. What just happened? You see, right here I don't really understand the overly dramatic intro. This is not like a murder case, and at the end of the day, no one really gives a fuck. Alright, so I have a question. Why does the word natural have those two little apostrophes around it? Because those aren't quotations. No one is actually speaking that. It's not like a dialogue. Because in my mind, it's reading as Confessions as a Natural Bodybuilder. Am I wrong, or are you guys reading it like that too? I knew I wasn't the only one here.
I realized that performance-enhancing drugs are quite a big thing in sport. I've won Mr. Australia, I've won Mr. Natural Olympia, Mr. Natural Olympia Classic Physique, Musclemania Australia Lightweight Men's, and 2 times Arnold Classic Lightweight Men's Champion. Went to uni, studied the human body, trying to learn about training, nutrition, studied psychology and philosophy as well.
You know, I took a little bit of psych, I took a little bit of philosophy, studied human behavior a little bit, and could just be me, but I think whoever goes through this amount of trouble is lying. I just think that that's the case. I don't know. It seems like, this whole thing seems like a lot.
To really make it as a bodybuilder is to get into the IFBB Pro League, and that's my goal.
Oh! IFBB Pro! I called it!
If anyone thinks...
So this is actually my favorite transition in the entire documentary. It starts off with a nice mushroom tip to the lens, and then as you pan up, you get the nice glistening of the nipple rings. Easily the best shot in the film. Dude looks like a fucking tank. Props.
To 250 pounds plus, completely ripped, without taking any substances, then you're probably really naive.
Going off of that logic, he basically just said that because he's not 250 pounds, there's no way in hell that he will ever be on steroids. That's flawed because people have small bone structures, they don't eat enough food, or they could just be short. Pete is 5'4", so there's no way he's going to come close to 250 pounds. So that argument goes straight out the window.
You just have to look at the statistics, top cycling races, or the fact that 9 out of 10 of the fastest men in history have all tested positive at some stage.
I actually really like this point because a lot of people are oblivious or turn a blind eye to professional sports when it comes to drug use. People just don't want to be told the harsh truth that their idols and heroes in these professional sports are actually probably using PEDs to enhance capabilities such as recovery, speed, endurance, and power.
Train really hard for a very long time and you get to a high level, but then you start to realize the way things are. And the reality is that most of the guys at the top level are using stuff. And if you want to keep up with them, you might have to do it too. Or you can keep competing and be disadvantaged. or you can quit and do something else.
I recommend doing something else. I highly recommend finding another activity to fill your time.
So the other day, I underwent a drug test, and I've got the results here. Came back clean. But guess what? That doesn't prove anything. Anyone can pass one of these drug tests if they know what's coming. But I've got another 12 of them that I did over the past year. All came back clean.
Pete actually just dropped a mic. Look at that mug. Bitch!
Pete engaged the services of Sports Drug Testing International pretty much because he wanted to have an independent, unbiased approach to prove that he's competing clean.
So some professional drug tester pops up in the video and explains how Pete self-funded all of these tests and that there's no way that these tests could have been fabricated.
We would test him anywhere from 1 or 2 times a month without any advance notice. And we also collected blood and urine samples over this period of time. For the blood samples, we were testing for growth hormone.
So what's interesting about these drug tests is that they only test his blood for growth hormone. So all Pete has to do is just not take growth hormone and he comes up clean for all these blood tests. However, they do test his PP for a bunch of different compounds.
And they'll test various drug classes from, anabolic steroids, peptides, any other banned substances. They're on a very comprehensive list. We tested him with unannounced testing. He provided us with whereabouts information, where he would be, and he had no idea when we would turn up. It's random, it's unannounced.
How are these drug tests random and unannounced if they know where Pete's location is at all times? This is how I picture the following scenario to play out. Oh hey bud, what are you doing here? I didn't expect you so soon, even though I told you I was going to be home at this exact time. Come on in. Hey Pete, you alright in there? Doesn't really sound like you're going. Everything good? Yeah, it's just a little bit of stage fright, you know what I mean? Wait, here we go. Oh yeah. Did you hear that stream? It's powerful. It's clean too. Does Pete call them and he's like, yo, I'm headed to the park right now, and then Scooby and his drug testing mystery team hop in the fucking bus and then go and drug test him? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop what you're doing and whip out your pee-pee. This way we can verify if your urine indicates that you are a fake natural or not. Thanks. So here's my conspiracy. For all these bodybuilders that are clearly on Michael Jordan's secret stuff, they know how to pass a drug test. Or they have such a short half-life that these drugs are not showing up on the tests.
I'd already been going down the natural path for so long that I just thought I'd keep going. Reason number 2 is health concerns. I already have high cholesterol as well as a few other health concerns that I'd really need to consider. So yeah.
You know, I was just starting to believe him until he threw in that, so yeah. I mean, that was just the laziest
So yeah.
I've ever heard in my entire life. And it made everything that he said before that irrelevant.
I recently competed in 10 shows over the last year.
Wait a second, this guy competed 10 times in the last year?
Desperately trying to get into the IFBB Pro League. And I won all the qualifying shows leading up to those. But when I finally had the chance at winning the pro card, I came runner-up to the guy who won twice.
Of course this dude won. I mean, he looks like the random character generator for any RPG game. This is the default human that you pick when you're playing on the Alliance in World of Warcraft.
You get back up, you dust yourself off.
And the third eye of truth rips you a new one.
I'm the god of